How to overcome unrequited love. The young she-wolf. Once upon a time, there was a young she-wolf who wanted to see the world, so she wandered from forest to forest, meeting friends and acquaintances everywhere. At some point in her life, she decided to settle in a particularly beautiful forest and live there permanently. She made a cozy den and began to gradually get to know her neighbors. It turned out that other wolves lived by the forest river, and the young she-wolf was delighted to meet them all. She was especially taken with a silent, stern wolf who was always kind and courteous to her during their brief encounters in the forest. As the young she-wolf went about her life, she found herself falling more and more in love with the silent, stern wolf. She dreamed about him, but he remained distant and did not try to befriend her, though he was always polite when they met. Days passed, and the young she-wolf imagined them as a wonderful pair, how handsome he was, and how they would have beautiful pups. But in reality, they barely knew each other, spoke little, and did not grow closer. The young she-wolf waited for the silent, stern wolf to make the first move, but he stayed aloof, although polite. He did nothing. When they briefly spoke during their encounters, the young she-wolf was always as gentle and caring as manners would allow, since they were essentially strangers to each other. This did not help, and everything remained the same as before. Exhausted by her feelings, the young she-wolf fell ill. In her sickness, she decided to leave this forest, for the silent, stern wolf showed no interest. She packed her belongings, and her neighbors, including the silent, stern wolf, warmly saw her off. After settling in another forest, the young she-wolf longed for the silent, stern wolf and hoped he missed her too. Months passed, and sometimes she received greetings from her former neighbors, including the silent, stern wolf, through the birds, but these were merely courtesies as before. While walking in her new forest, her new neighbors, the wolves, often showed her attention, telling her how good, beautiful, and smart she was. But it was not the same for her. Her heart still held on to the dream and hope for the silent, stern wolf. However, she made new friends and acquaintances in her new forest. On the brink of winter, the young she-wolf realized she had wasted 2 years on empty dreams and hopes. This realization brought her such pain that she brought her sorrow to the wise owl, the kind elder of her new forest. In her new forest, everyone knew that the wise owl was so old and wise that he could give good advice, guidance, and comfort. The young she-wolf went to the wise owl and lamented her sorrow. "Oh, my dear young she-wolf," said the wise owl, "you have placed all your expectations on the silent, stern wolf without knowing who he is, and he has done nothing. Everything we are meant to receive in this life is already with us or is just about to appear, and we see its approach. You have waited and dreamed for 2 years, and nothing. Understand, dear, everything that is yours will come to you. Let go of your expectations. Your new forest friends have become your new family. If you dream of pups, know that there are many possibilities. You can care for others' pups and positively influence their lives, or you can meet your true mate and build a family and a beautiful den. But most importantly, you must value and respect yourself. Look at our forest. You came here and did many good deeds. The animals and birds of the forest respect and appreciate you, and the wolves compliment you on being kind, beautiful, and smart. Here we see reciprocity. Love should be mutual. You are already happy living here and working for the good of the forest. You are already whole and wonderful, even though you are not yet paired with another wolf. You are right, wise owl. I have invested my efforts into this new forest and relationships with the animals and birds and have received full reciprocation. But in my relationship with the silent, stern wolf, I did not even receive friendship, only cold politeness. You had high expectations from this relationship, which did not materialize, and that is why you are in pain. But other animals and birds are not obliged to meet our expectations. And we should not expect love from others, for love already lives within you, young she-wolf. You now value and love yourself. You see that relationships with others should be built gradually and based on mutuality. Thank you, wise owl, I understand everything now, said the young she-wolf, and saw that the owl did not respond. He just sat on his branch with his eyes closed. She sat quietly, patiently waiting to see what would happen next. After a while, the wise owl opened his eyes and gently said with love, I heard the forest spirit calling you. Go to the misty meadow when twilight falls and listen. The young she-wolf felt very happy and excited. She saw that the sun was already setting and, feeling anxious, headed to the misty meadow. As she approached the meadow, the young she-wolf felt a warm breeze, which was very unusual because winter had already arrived. The breeze enveloped her with warmth and gentleness, swirling golden fallen leaves in the air. It was the forest spirit whispering his mysterious instructions to the young she-wolf through the wind. She stood still, listening attentively to the forest spirit. In the rustle of the leaves, she heard words of support and love. You will have your happy family, oh my beautiful young she-wolf. You have worked well for the good of our forest, and I want to reward you. I promise you a happy family in the near future, but first, you must reveal your talents and share these gifts with the inhabitants of the forest. Our forest and the whole world await your gifts, so bestow upon us your talents, share with the forest, and help the birds and animals. Thank you, forest spirit. The young she-wolf bowed reverently. She felt happiness and great gifts within herself. She earnestly wanted to share her talents for the good of the forest. A clear path opened before her on how she could fulfill her mission. And because of this, she felt absolute happiness. The young she-wolf quietly walked to her den, and the warm breeze gently accompanied her, swirling golden leaves around her. How exactly the young she-wolf revealed her talents, we will learn in the next tale about her. Will the young she-wolf find her love and build a family? Be patient, dear listeners, and soon you will find out in our new healing tales. For now, let us wish the young she-wolf good luck and rejoice for her. As her heart is now light and calm, she no longer yearns for the silent, stern wolf, for she knows that love lives within her and it multiplies, just as her happiness multiplies from sharing her talents for the good of the world and the forest. The end.